I'm just a streaming dirtbag baby.
I'm a sexy Asian woman.
Come to my live stream, don't say maybe. It never ends until you go crazy. I'm just a streaming dirtbag baby. Come to my live stream, don't say maybe. It never ends until you go crazy. Thank you, Uncle Remus. Thank you, Wesley. And thank you, everybody who came. Now that's a franchise I'd watch.
I think you know why you are here. There's a part of you that the normies fear. Know the truth is what you seek, so we welcome you to the home of geeks. Of the oddball, the neglected, the outcast, the rejected, we're all here to celebrate. Rebels in the wondrous and strange. Whenever we are here, we see clear. There's no fear. Into the steady every word as a voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's us. There's no need to be a pat-clad. We've done away with all the hatred. Every show you love is here, so kick back and grab a beer. There's plenty of discussion, no agenda that we're pushing. We're just here to celebrate. Anti-preparate, rebels in the wonders and the strange. Whenever we are here, you see clear, there's no fear. Into steady every word as a voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's a third. We are a sci-fi menagerie. We've got every alien from A to Z. We know this is where you want to be. We're the greatest channel in the galaxy. Anti-preparate, rebels in the wonders and strange. Whenever we are here, you see clear, there's no fear. It's steady every word, as a voice to be heard. 'Cause here everyone's a third. A third. Oh yeah. A third.
the anti-checker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
Hey guys, let's see, looks like everything's right. Yes, good to see you all, and I'm not muted, so just always got to make sure, because I'm bad about that. So, a couple of quick things. First of all, yes, I'm wearing a nice shirt. That's a long story, but it was for a video I was recording earlier, which you'll see next week. The other thing is that, so I decided to try something. Now, I didn't have a name for this beverage here, but I now know that it is Tranya, thanks to the latest episode of Picard. So we're going to put some Tranya in a glass there. So pour a little Tranya in here. Just enough to cover the ice, I think, should be enough. So we now have a glass of Tranya. And we'll add a little Romulan ale to that bad boy. And mix it up. Guess I should have gotten a stir. Yeah, let's just try that. So it looks like that cloaks it really nice. So the cloaking device seems to be working. So there we go. The cloaking device is officially 1 part Tranya, 1 part Romulan ale. That's not bad. All right, so to the chat we go. Kronos was actually first today and says do do for the song. Asked how the pain level was tonight, which I answered it's not good. Darren says this isn't a bad song, indeed. Kronos says no, it is not, and hi. Kronos says guess I can't watch Robot Chicken anymore. Why not? Well, happy Not Friday to you, says George. Hey, well, thank you, sir. Thomas says hi. No, didn't get a notification. So you turn the pain up to 11. Well, if you're out of a Bahamas being a 1 and New Jersey being a 10, saying Karoga is like saying it's about a 30 or so. But yeah, 11. Greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Glad I looked. No notification. Dang, did anybody get a notification yet? John DeMarco says greetings. Thomas asking if anyone got a notification. And Ensign Ricky says, nope, I just refreshed. And yes, Thomas, I know that Tranya was originally introduced in TOS. But in TOS, if I remember correctly, it looked more like orange juice. But in Picard, it kind of had a yellow tint to it. So, yeah. And Thomas says, frack you, YouTube. Kronos saying hi to everybody. Ensign Ricky says, hola, and also said 5th. And Kronos says, wow, all fancy. Yes. Thomas says, what is that around your neck? This is called a necktie. So yeah, you put it on your neck. Tranya's best, very cold. It actually is. Romulan ale, feeling adventurous tonight. Yes, indeed. And then Thomas puts a link to probably the Tranya page for Memory Alpha. Yes. The funny thing is they should have a picture of it from the Picard episode, but they don't. Usually they're good about updating that stuff when new stuff comes in from Picard. And now what was that? Somebody's sending here. Oh, that's actually, so I want to let you guys know that if you happen to be free tomorrow night at, let me double check the time here, because, and I'm going to probably mention this a couple times through the live stream, because this is a big deal. One of our very own nerds in the community, Orville Nation, is going to have a very special live stream. It's going to start, let's see, at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is 9 p.m. Eastern, so 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Orville Nation is going to have a live stream that is going to feature the one, the only, the legendary Alan Dean Foster. If you don't know who Alan Dean Foster is, you don't get nerd points tonight, but go to IMDb and look up Alan Dean Foster. I'm sure you'll find him there. and you can also, I mean, if you just Google him, you'll find, let's see, if you look him up in Google, you get a few things. He's 73 years old. He has written a ton of books. He also has written Star Trek, the motion picture. And yes, Star Trek, the motion picture may not be the best Star Trek movie of all time, but the writing wasn't the problem. Honestly, the writing. So I actually, the overall, the writing was pretty good. It just had a real problem with pacing. What is it? It is green. Yes. Why all dressed up? I was dressed up for a video. I'll be putting it out sometime next week. And so, Cassian Andor series is in trouble. Well, I don't care, to be honest with you. I don't want to see a Cassian Andor series. I really don't. I know that some fans are excited about Cassian Andor. I never was, primarily because I don't like his character. He's a dick. You know? And Thomas puts $4.99 in. Thank you so much, my friend. Says, I don't know half of you as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Yes, I do love that line from Fellowship of the Ring. Great movie. One of the Peter Jackson Lord of the Ring trilogy is an absolute masterpiece. I know he had to make The Hobbit, which he should not have split into a trilogy. He should have made The Hobbit as a single film. And he should not have made King Kong. He should have retired after The Lord of the Rings. It was that good.
But here's what we're going to do. It's a beautiful day in Karoga. Of course, it's time to protect the Karoga homelands. Ah, shit! We're already taking shots. What the hell was that? What? Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Who shot me? Who shot me? Where's the body? There it is. God damn it. God damn it. It would help if it was telling me where people were shooting from. Fuck! For Alamarine, if you can see Alamarine, you'll come with me. Alamarine.
Ah, yes. Speaking... Thank you, Chancellor. Speaking of Bird of Prey, the evil dictator of Karoga, one of our spies in Karoga actually got an interesting recording of two high-level Karogan officials, one of them being Bird of Prey himself, the other being Wesley Crusher. Mercer throws a couple of bucks in. Thank you so much. The beacons are lit. Guntor calls for aid. And Rohan will answer. Yes, great moment. Absolutely great moment. All right, so... we actually got this recording was smuggled out of Karoga just today, and it is a recording between the evil dictator Bird O' Prey 5 and his #1 lieutenant Wesley Crusher.
Hello, world.
And then Jaeger puts 10 bucks in, says, know why the military has a drinking problem. It's the best way to deal with the pain of disappointment. Was it so much as for a fight? Who am I kidding? Son of a bitch, give me a drink. Apologies for nothing. All right, Jaeger. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right, so if you listen carefully, well, you'll see where Bird's allegiances when it comes to Trek really lie.
Riker, I could go either way on.
Hey, Riker was a pretty handsome man, so.
That's what I meant. Just to be clear.
Miles says yes. Nobody's recording. Sure,
Yeah,
Mr. Miles.
Sure, Mr. Miles. I would pay that as Josh Street. If anybody gets a Michael Burnham autograph and thinks they're going to get me to pay for it, I will pay for a Michael Burnham autograph. Now, William Shatner autograph, yeah, you're out of your mind. I would take it if it was free, yes, but I don't think I would pay.
So there you go. We got absolute proof that Bird of Prey would pay good money for a Michael Burnham autograph, but will not, in fact, pay for a William Shatner autograph. So I think that says a lot. Darren says, you like wearing a tie, don't you? Most guys take them off when they no longer need to wear them. Well, I don't mind wearing a tie, but I don't wear them often. Chrono says, Odo ordered Tranya while possessed with Curzon's spirit. I don't remember that, but I will take your word for that. Did they show the Tranya itself? I'll tweet you a bottle of Cassoy and brandy. Okay. Andrew, Sir Andrew, you're all fancy looking fine this evening. Who would win in an arm wrestling, Captain Sisko or Captain Kirk? That is an excellent question. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Darren says, so Alan Dean Foster wrote The Changeling from TOS because, you know, they had a lot of the same ideas. Actually, that would be a legit question for him, depending on how the conversation is going. As far as, did you draw inspiration directly from The Changeling? Because, yeah, obviously there's some similarities. Now, the primary premise is different, of course, because in The Changeling, Nomad was trying to sterilize everything, wasn't actually planning to go to Earth directly. However, in, obviously in the motion picture, V'ger was trying to find its creator. Darren said, I already read that. Peter Jackson's King Kong was excellent. I think The Hobbit should have been a two-parter rather than a trilogy. Too bloated. 2 films would have been perfect. I disagree with you. I do like Jackson's King Kong. I think it was a little too long, but I liked it. And Mercer puts a couple more bucks in, says, Game of Twisters, 7 of 9 versus Jar Jar. Who wins? Jar Jar wins for sure. Not that Jar Jar necessarily is a better Twister player than 7 of 9, but Jar Jar wins because Jar Jar gets to play Twister with 7 of 9. So whoever plays against 7 of 9 clearly is the winner in that one. So there you go. No wonder Bird doesn't play this game anymore. Yeah, he did suck. What's what with the Anti-Tracker action figure, the limited edition dress uniform? Just, you'll see in the video. Man, I sound like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers there when I said video. Video. I was thinking of Super Chat. I got to be careful, though, because if Captain Trek hears me, he'll try to edit this together into me saying something I didn't mean. I was thinking of Super Chat. Mr. Antracker does Galadriel prologue, but instead of Mordor is Kuroga, Bird of Prey Sauron, and it's the one Jaloja machine to rule them all. That's not bad. Josh C. and Anti-Checker, we should send you to work in the Kurogan orphan mines. So, yeah, not going to happen. Drink to hide the pain. Sad, but yes. Jaeger says, Anti-Checker, I'm getting intoxicated. Well, don't overdo it, my friend. Don't overdo it. So I can't use the word I can't use the word for intoxication from booze. Oh, because the system will bleep that. Death Dealer says, saw the new video. Did they really kill Ichab? Indeed, they did. It was very sad. It truly was. Nightbreed says, hi, how you doing? Jaeger says, 1984, hyperbolic, or is it just fun to admit depression? I tell you, it's funny because people thought 1984 would never happen, and they always thought if it did happen, it would come from these evil, conservative corporations. As it turns out, it's the liberals. I can't use the word for the first-person shooter, Doom. Oh, man, yeah. Jaeger says, can't say the First Amendment. I know. So I was watching an episode of Star Trek Enterprise and noticed that in Meriwether's room, he has a model of Nomad from TOS The Changing. Really? I did not notice that. New York City looks beautiful in Jackson's King Kong. It actually does. They did a great job of recreating old-time New York. Okay, I'm scared that my speech is narrow. I think well, it doesn't matter if your speech is narrow because you're not the one talking. Wonder if the changelings from the Gamma Quadrant ever met the Alpha Quadrant, the changeling who dated Wesley Crusher. Good question. Andy Checker, Mercer Create, Alexander wins. He gets to see his favorite characters in one place. Well, that's true too. That's true too. Jaeger says, I was joking about 1984. I was joking. It wasn't supposed to be true, but it is true. It is true. That's the sad thing. Daniel's Hot Topic says, what's up? Andy Checker, guess what I just saw? Well, I know you sent me a thing about some leaked footage from Matrix 4. If Maddox made Dodge Soji from both Borg tech and Data's tech, could she be a hybrid and become a bridge of peace between the Borg and humanity? How could she threaten humanity, a future Borg queen? Well, I don't know if she's, I hope they don't go the Borg queen route. I truly do. If they do, I can kind of see it as far as making sense in story, but I'm just tired of the Borg. Super chats block more words than normal chat, says Thomas. Did not know. Well, I did know that. Actually, take that back. Too late on the drinks. I think I had too many. Got to love irony. Well, Jaeger, stay with us, man. We'll walk you through it. And hopefully you don't start typing completely incoherently. Me says, what magic is this? Every time Antrekker takes a drink, part of him disappeared. Yes, that's because this drink is called the cloaking device. It's my own invention. I just saw Knives Out. It was a great movie. I heard it's actually pretty good. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm not opposed to seeing it. I just want to pay for it because I am still angry at Rian Johnson. I see you saw my message about Rise of Skywalker. Yes, Thomas, I did see your message about Rise of Skywalker. It's coming to home video next month. I've not seen the new episode of Picard yet. Did you say Ichib is dead? Well, yes, I did say Ichib is dead. Sorry. Antrigger, I think the new species, the Beta Anari would make a good new villain. Are you the Beta? Which one is the Beta Anari? Is that the lizard dude? Is that who you're talking about? I liked him enough, but honestly, I still think he was unnecessary addition. Mercer says Nermal loves you. Well, thank you, and say hi to Nermal for me. Bradley says it's 6:38 here, and I'm still drinking. I'm free all of February, so why not? Cheers. All right, well, just don't overdo it, my friend. I think Picard will do the AI from Discovery. I hope not. If Alexander gets 7 of 9 mad, she will take him out. That's very true. That is very, very true. You need more umbrellas for the Tranya. Yes, that was kind of funny. Give me 2 umbrellas. Voyager neutered the Borg, in my opinion. Well, Voyager did do a horrible job with the Borg, but Enterprise kind of saved them for me. The episode Regeneration of Enterprise was actually a really solid Borg episode. I'm pretty sad that Neil Parrott died. I'm not sure who that is. I feel bad for Kobe Bryant fans, even though I was not a fan. Yeah, me too. It's sad about Kobe Bryant, but at the same time, it's just as sad for all the other people in the helicopter. And I was not a huge fan of Kobe anyway. I had thought on Star Trek Picard, and Jaeger throws another $10 in. Thank you so much, my friend. I truly, truly appreciate it. Now, I know you've been drinking, so do not overdo it, my friend. Do not overdo it. But Commander Sutter says, I had a thought on Star Trek Picard. What if all we are seeing as a result is his Ironic syndrome advancing or has been kidnapped by aliens who captured Riker? I don't think that either of those things are true. I don't think they're going to try to do the whole it was a dream ending, because I think a lot of people would be really pissed off about that. And I would be one of them, because here's the thing. If you're going to do a fake out thing like that, you can't have it drag through an entire season. I know it's been done before, but like in Dallas and stuff, in order to retcon someone's death. But I just don't like it. I don't like it. So, but Jaeger puts $10 in and says, I've always had poor spelling. That is an awesome drink. Cloaking device. LOL. I've never forgive Ruin Johnson. Forgive my inability for forgive. Also, as for dodging Picard, I feel disappointment. Drink. To your disappointment. Egypt is still alive in Star Trek Renegades. He was a crew member of the Renegades. I guess Star Trek Picard is a sequel to Star Trek Renegades. No, Star Trek Renegades is not canon. Mike says, did you switch to live chat? You skipped me. I just switched, Mike, and I apologize. I did not mean to skip you. So I saw your message, and I was like, oh, crap, I am still on top chat. So let me give you a present to make up for it. Jeff Franklin says, hi. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you, my friend. And I'm glad you didn't say last this time, because I'm tired of you saying that. I'm tired of... Don't be down on yourself, my friend. Thomas says, did they think they will address the EMH knowing she killed Maddox?
I got him!
Well, they're going to have to do something. Now, I got into a little bit of an argument with Lore Reloaded about that today. He really did not like... this episode of Trek. And one of the things he did not like about it was the fact that the EMH could be just shut off despite the fact that someone was dying. Now, I argued that, so what? This EMH is not sentient. So, at least as far as we know, this is not the Doctor. This is just an EMH that Rios programmed to look like himself. And on top of that, this is not a Federation. And he said, well, regardless of that, the ship is smart enough to report to the captain that someone's been murdered. And I'm like, this is not a Federation starship. This is a civilian freighter. You don't know what kind of computer core it has, but I would dare say nothing nearly as advanced as what we see on a starship. So, like I said, we got into it a little bit on that. So we disagree. I liked it better than he did. Not that I don't think that he's hating on Picard, but he just really didn't like this episode, which is perfectly fine. Jaeger says, good times. Aaron says, they killed Icheb with a sad face indeed. And Mercer throws $2 in and says, I'm right in the middle of something, Ray. Oh, Mercer, you always come up with the best quotes. Killing Egypt was brilliant and definitely reflected continuity. I don't think I would call it brilliant. Well, here's the thing. I honestly wasn't that upset that they killed him, but I did not like the way they did it. I think that it was way too graphic. That is a problem that I think with New Trek. I know that, I'm also, more of a defender of New Trek, at least Picard, than most in the Phantom Menace. I still do not like Discovery, because Discovery craps all over canon and everything. And Michael Burnham is insufferable as a character. But I like Picard. I think it's a good show. I just wish that they didn't have this contemporary dialogue crap problem. And the graphic language and graphic violence now, I think, is over the top. They need to tone it back. Gratuitous violence is gratuitous, and gratuitous does not mean good. Jeff says, it's just a catchphrase. I'm last as always. Well, I still don't want to hear it. They killed him in such a rushed, clumsy way, they should have been able to save him. Well, that's the other thing. 7 of 9 had no... Because 7 did a Cassian and killed... Again, Mercy killed him, but she didn't have to. From what we could see, his injuries, while substantial, were definitely not fatal. He lost an eye, but, they could sew him back together and give him an eye patch like Martok or something. I mean, it's not like they couldn't fix him. But she's like, oh, too bad. Pooh. And I know he asked for her to kill her. Well, that made no sense either, because I will tell you that if somebody was beating the crap out of me and then they ripped my eyeball out and I'm sitting there in agonizing pain on the floor and someone comes and finds me, I'd say, take me to the hospital. Give me drugs. I wouldn't say, kill me. Ralph says, we need more Kazinti in Star Trek. Why? Aaron says, I do not like killing characters which fans love without ever giving us some time with the character. Talking Icheb here, not my cup of Earl J. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't upset about the killing Egypt Icheb, except for the method was way too graphic. Daniel says, I figured out it's possible the Control is still around and was responsible for the android massacre in Mars. I don't think it's Control, and if it is Control, Daniel, that'll be a horrible mistake to link this show to Discovery, because this show's way better than that. I hope you had less pain today. Unfortunately, Franklin, that is not the case, but yeah. That wasn't the EMH, it was the EPH, Emergency Psychotherapy Hologram. Well, the stupid thing, me, is that it was both. Because it popped up and said, please state the nature of the psychological emergency when it detected that Dr. What's-Her-Face was obviously distraught. And then he saw Maddox on the table and said, whoa, please state the nature of your medical emergency. But shouldn't he have already known that Maddox was injured? I'm a little confused by that. DJ says, Tom Paris dies in episode 8. Good. Mr. Miles says, Mr. Miles is here. I did not like the Icheb scene either, but they couldn't find his cortical node because he'd removed it in an episode of Voyager. That part is good with continuity. Yes, I am down with that. But I still don't like how graphic it was. It was just over the top. Streaming sites are like streaming movies. Yeah? Mercer says, this was my favorite 7 of 9 episode. I really, really liked it. I don't have to agree with it to like it. Well, that's fine. There are two main problems. Well, three. I'm sorry. There are three main problems with the episode. The graphic death of Icheb, the soap opera moments with Rafi and her son, and 7 of 9 doing an anti-redemption story where at the end, after she does the right thing, she goes back and does the wrong thing. But I did like the episode. I just didn't think it's not my favorite, and it's certainly not my favorite with 7. Scorpion is. In a deleted scene, Icheb was forced to listen to Bird of Prey singing. Wow, that would be even worse. Tubian says, I didn't have the chance to comment the other night, but I thought you dropped the microphone on the whole supernova debate. Star Trek also has fish pool and sentient pools of sludge. Yeah, that's the thing. And thank you, Tubian. Yeah, I know I went crazy on a rant there about the supernovas and all that. And yeah, thank you. That's all I can say is thank you. I do think that people need to relax about the idea that Star Trek was always about accurate science. Because if you're saying that, you're deluding yourself. You're just remembering the good old days. And I'll tell you, I think I figured out why it is that people are saying that. And it also has to do with why some people like TOS, some people like TNG, some people like Voyager. It depends on when you were a kid, because if you were a kid when TNG was coming out, you're saying that, oh yeah, all that stuff is real science, because when you were a kid it sounded real. But go back and rewatch it. And I don't mean just your favorite episodes. I mean rewatch the whole series, and boy, are you going to find a lot of scientific inaccuracies. But I do think, and the same thing with the original series and all the rest. Science is magic in Star Trek. End of discussion. She said deactivate EMH and he shut down, and not EPH. That's true. He was the EMH, really. I think he was just, any kind of medicinal problem he could handle. Jeff says, am I the only one that really liked this episode? I thought it was the best episode of Picard so far, 8.5 out of 10. Well, Mercer said it's his favorite 7 of 9 episode of all time. So no, I don't think you're the only one that liked it. I think that I liked it a little less than you, obviously. I gave it a 6.5, I think. I think I gave it a 6.5. And I didn't hate it, of course, but I didn't think it was their strongest episode. Did you ever notice a relative of Tom Paris in Star Trek Beyond? Admiral Paris in Star Trek Beyond, I think is who it was. Is that who you're talking about? Do we know that that's a relative of Tom Paris? And by the way, your caps lock are on. I really like that 7 of 9 is mostly the same character. Jerry brings her 7 face back perfectly. I think she did all right, but I think that she, it still didn't feel like 7 because she was too emotional, but I understand. It's 20 years later, so I can buy it. Andrew, in a clip I saw the captain in the pimp outfit being to Free Cloud. When he does, we see Quark's bar behind him. Quark from DS9. Yay, do we see Quark? Unfortunately, no. We also see Mott has a hair salon. But no, sadly, while we do see a sign for Quark's, we do not see Quark himself. And Quark is actually mentioned in one line of dialogue. How many different holograms will we see? This is the emergency bartender hologram. Please state the nature of your drinking emergency. Exactly. Yeah, it seems a little silly. Oh, Neil Peart, he's the Rush drummer. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. My brain was not working all the time right now. Son of a bitch, Andy Jagger, no notifications. Son of a bitch. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway, Sci-Fi, even if you were a filthy Kurogan. Her 7 face sounds funnier than I meant it. No, I got you. I got what you meant. He lost more than an eye. Go back and look frame by frame. He had a chunk of his chest ripped open too. I still don't buy that he was fatally injured. So, you know. Oh, and speaking of Bird of Prey 5, I figured out what the secret is. He drives that drives anyone that knows it crazy. It's listening to Aussie O Prey. Well, actually, Kurogans are forced to listen to this every night as they go to sleep.
Oi, it's my Aussie accent. It's the dingoes. We have to worry.
Yeah, so painful indeed. Jaeger says, now I know why I went to 40K. Not just for Space Marines. No hope, no science, no love, just war. Lots of war and the laughter of an unjust God. Good times. Well, that seems a little nihilistic. Aaron says, I had a lot of mixed feelings on these Picard episodes. There's a few things in each episode that has totally ripped me out of Star Trek, and other times I like things are going, yeah, that's the problem, is that, and I've talked about this a few times, but I mean, the story and the plot and Picard himself all feel very Star Trek. The dialogue, not at all. And the graphic nature of the show pulls me out. The Secretary General was in Beyond. Was it? I don't remember. I hated Beyond. I only saw it the one time, and I don't ever want to have to see it again. She didn't feel like Seven at first, but as the episode progressed, she slowly started to act like Seven of old. The facial expressions, tone of the voice, and so on. Yeah, I can see that, Miles. And I'll tell you, my absolute favorite moment in the series so far was in this episode, and that was when Seven and Picard had that little moment exchanging about what it was like to recover from being a Borg. I thought that was powerful. We needed more of that during TNG. I like what Bird of Prey is talking about in Star Trek Picard. He said something about the Romulans trying to get time travel technology from the Borg cube to go back in time and save the Romulans. That's an interesting premise, but I don't know that there's anything to support that. Son of a bitch, give me a drink. One more night, I still can't get clean. Good times. Okay, can't get clean. You should pay the horrible... Tom says, you should play the horrible thing he said for Sci-Fi Nation. Well, I did play it a few minutes ago, but I'll play it again. So, yes, our spy in Kuroga managed to record a high-level meeting with Bird of Prey, and I believe it's Wesley Crusher.
Riker, I could go either way on.
Hey, Riker was a pretty handsome man, so.
That's what I meant. Just to be clear.
Miles says, yes, nobody's recording. Sure,
Yeah,
Mr. Miles.
Sure, Mr. Miles. I would pay that at Josh Street. If anybody gets a Michael Burnham autograph and thinks they're going to get me to pay for it, I will pay for a Michael Burnham autograph. Now, William Shatner autograph, yeah, you're out of your mind. I would take it if it was free, yes, but I don't think I would pay.
So there you go. Bird of Prey hates William Shatner, loves Michael Burnham. So you gotta go figure. Where were we? Sci-Fi Nation says the original and best live intro, please. The original and best live intro, please. It might make up for no notification. Well, I actually played the original intro, and so you can rewind and see it. The emergency fast food hologram, says Commander Shutter. EFFH. Do you want fries with that? Smile in the face of impending doom. Eric says, ditto I trigger, ba reap, garna, weep, ninny, bong, good sir. Okay. I gotta admit, I'm sure that's a reference to something that I am just too exhausted to catch. What was that? Item 7 gave to Picard at the end. Something to summon the Fenris Rangers like a communicator or a badge to show them. Reminds me of the coin of the Bravos. Will he use it? I think he will. I think we're going to see 7 again. DJ says, I still say this was the best out of the first 5. That's okay, DJ. You have the right to say things that are incorrect. Ralph says, Quark is now a franchise. Gotta love capitalism. Indeed, I do love capitalism, and I'm glad that capitalism has made a comeback in the Star Trek universe. Jaeger says, okay, what words and phrases are the most surprising that aren't allowed on YouTube? That's a tough one. I understand why they censor, but I don't like it. Miles says, I agree. The moment was 7 and Picard talking about the Borg. My favorite moment in the whole series to have been, whoa, and then it jumped. I'm waiting for that scene for a long time, indeed. Admiral Paris is in beyond what was played by the Secretary General in The Expanse. That's what I was thinking, that it was that one chick with the really deep voice. She sounds kind of like Dr. Girlfriend from Venture Brothers. It's a song, Neanderthal, Ratliff, and the Night Sweets, son of a bitch. Well, sorry, I didn't do that. And Mercer says, playing this tonight, and puts a link in. Let's see, what is that? Oh, your Star Wars game. Very cool. Hope you are kicking some Imperial butt. Mr. Miles says, I wonder who that was that recorded the audio. I don't know, Mr. Miles. Our spy in Kuroga. Anti-Trekker, the reason why the Romulans did not get away in time was because it was not a natural supernova. Someone or something must have set off the Romulan sun to go supernova, but who? That's a possibility, Daniel, or it could just be that the way that the writers didn't bother to research it and figured they didn't get that much warning. And here's the thing, I don't have a problem with that. And I think people that are making a big deal out of it are being stupid, quite frankly. What Picard said, implying that he didn't get all of his humanity back, is that there's a hint that he could turn into a Borg in the future. How can Starfleet trust him after he was assimilated? Well, in the trailer for next episode, they do show him as a Borg again. The emergency stardate hologram, says Thomas. What would the emergency Please state the nature of your calendar emergency. Is that green drink Bacardi Hurricane and limoncello mix? Actually, no. It's Romulan ale and Tranya, but the actual ingredients are limoncello and blue Caraco. This time. I did try it with Bacardi last time. I think the Bacardi actually tastes a little better. The blue Caraco is a little too sweet for this kind of thing. But still good. I let you on my streams just to be denied, son of a bitch. I said you could rewind this. I played it just for you at the beginning of the stream. Not my fault you weren't there. Bajord says the new Discovery photos are really fascinating. I'll be honest with you. I'll watch it when it comes out, but I'm not excited about it at all. Bob Werp Gar Na Wheat Ninny Bong is from the 1986 Transformers movie. Okay. I don't know who said it, but I will take your word for it. I remember, I've seen that movie a few times, but it's been a while. The emergency Burnham hologram. State your woman a superior problem. Okay. Antrucker is pulling an SJW saying any agreement against him is wrong. No, not any agreement. Any agreement against me is wrong. First of all, you mean argument. No, there are, in fact, I admitted, for example, that Rambling Canuck was absolutely correct to correct me about Picard's attitude about having the hologram as his personal office. Eric says the universal greeting is from Transformers the movie. Oh, that's the universal greeting. Okay. Did you get to check out the video I posted today? No, I did not. I did not know you posted a video today. You got us, and I'll be honest. I know I get YouTube notifications, but honestly, I'm usually so busy editing and stuff that I don't see them. If there's a video you really want me to see, send me a message. TOS Balance of Terror versus TNG The Neutral Zone. If you're saying which episode is better, Balance of Terror by a long shot. The Neutral Zone was actually not a particularly good episode, and it was one of those very preachy ones about, oh my God, how did we survive the 20th century? Everybody was so primitive. They used money. It was bad. Oh my God, people took drugs back in the 20th century. Everybody in the 20th century is bad. That was the Neutral Zone, but people just remember that Tomalak shows up at the end. Or was it Tomalak? I think it was. Yeager says, for the Emperor, he is the god of mankind. Same, he couldn't treat his sons better. My bad. References to people who don't know about just know Corvus did nothing wrong. Okay. Mercer says, as a friend, I have to tell you, finally gone around the bend on this ghost business. Jagerbomb, IRDRUNK. Well, don't drink any more then. Data says, enter from the Narada from Star Trek 09 versus a Borg cube from Picard. Excuse me. Well, first of all, the Narada is a mining vessel enhanced with Borg technology. The cube is deactivated, so not sure what you're asking, because the cube isn't even ready to fight, at least not right now. Maybe it will be by the end of the series, but yeah. In Neurotic Stream, someone kept telling a person who likes Picard to just get out of here. I responded, you sound like an SJW. I got no response. Such a hypocrite. Well, you know, and that's the thing. And I don't know who that random person might be that said that. I wasn't there at the stream. And obviously that wasn't Gary saying that. And I know you're not saying that, Thomas. We got to be careful about that. Is that make sure we're clear that while Gary may disagree with me, he's not that kind of a dick, right? He's not going to say, oh, if you disagree with me, get out of here, you know. You be gone, you disagree, you heretic. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people that have that attitude. And yes, you see it constantly in the comments and stuff of some of these streams, right? Just like, I mean, you look at the comments of my videos when I talk either for or against Picard, and you get a lot of people that say, Anti-Checker, you idiot. You don't know anything. Did you even watch Star Trek? Because I have a different opinion than them. And so, man, people need to chill out. I feel like Star Trek Picard would be far more enjoyable if they used Pogo's Data and Picard for the show's theme song. I don't. Commander Shutter says, my light bulb just went off. What if a Romulan star exploded due to Q's Civil War hearing backup? And the Q that died was a member of their leadership, thus a massive destruction. That could be. That actually makes a certain amount of sense if it was a result of the Q War. Except that the Q War happened in the Voyager era, so why would it still be going on? I don't know that, but yeah. So the Autobot Cup to the Junkions? I remember they went to the junkyard, but I don't remember that. Yeager says, YouTube being complicated when it comes to saying things. Yeah, and your drinking doesn't help it. No pop-up if you're going live. I'm sorry, Stuart. Bjorn says, Thomas, that's such a dreadful and toxic stream. Well, here's the thing. Nerdrotic is not a toxic guy. But yes, there are some toxic people in the stream. Same thing with Doomcock and the rest, right? And so it's difficult because I know you guys, and I'm not saying this just to butter you up, because I'm saying this because it is 100% true. You guys are freaking awesome, right? We get the occasional troll, we get the occasional spammer, and guess what? My mods are usually all over it. Why? Because we care about ourselves as a community. Most of us are not dicks all the time. And I really appreciate that, because you look at some of these guys and the comments going in their streams, and it's like, man, I would love to have 2,000 people watching my streams, but not if it means I have, 1,500 of them are complete a-holes. So yeah. Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light. Yeah, right. So that's bad. An important safety tip. Thank you, Egon. Sci-Fi Nation says, fine, play my number 15 and we'll call it even, Anti-Dragon. And by the way, keep Twitter DM notifications on. I don't use Discord. I actually you can send me a Twitter message anytime. I may not get back to you. I may not message you back, but if you send me a link to a video, I will eventually watch it. You know, but and I'll be completely honest. This is an unfortunate negative side effect of a channel that with a little bit of healthy growth. Right? We just broke 13.7 thousand subs. Very excited about that. On our way to 15,000, and that's great. But the downside is that I'm constantly getting deluged by various messages. I'm getting stuff on Skype. I'm getting stuff on Twitter. I'm getting stuff on Discord. I'm getting stuff at antchecker.com, and I can't get to them all. I genuinely can't, so I have to pick and choose. You know, it's tough. It's really tough. I don't know what to do. But no, I'm not going to play number 15. Put a super chat in, and I will. Regarding your last video with the space drones and FNN, all for B5, S3, and S4. Space drones and FNN, it's all from Babylon 5, Season 3 and Season 4, I assume what you're saying. Well, first of all, the space drones, Babylon 5 didn't invent space drones. They didn't, you know, look at, but I just, at least not that I know of, but it doesn't matter who the first person to do it was. What matters is that it didn't make sense the way they depicted them. Jaeger says, last drink for the night, flying too close to the sun will always burn. Why are you still drinking? The Narada was never canonically enhanced with Borg technology. Well, it depends on if you take the comic books as canon or not. Because the Countdown comic was considered canon, but the Countdown comic is obviously in direct conflict with Picard now because of Captain Data. Ray has gone bye-bye, Egon. What do you got left? I'm sorry, I'm terrified beyond my ability for rational thought. Self-promotion. The next Miles edited video will be out in about 7 hours. Very true. Looking forward to it, my friend. Man of Sand says, isn't it strange that the Borg are all humanoid? Don't they ever encounter non-humanoid aliens and assimilate them? If not, why? Why? It'd be simple. Standardization. There's a lot of humanoid species in the universe, and to assimilate, say, a Horta would mean that they would have to rearrange the cube to accommodate a Horta. Why bother? Just exterminate them if you need to do anything with them, or ignore them. What does Nerdrotic think of Star Trek Picard? As far as I know, he does not like the show. I think that he said, like, the first couple episodes were better. He said it's better than Discovery, basically, but I don't think he likes it. Did you remove the wind cover on your mic? Actually, this mic, I did have one at one point, but it's, you know, I don't shoot outdoors, so I don't really need a wind cover. And let's see, what was there? Why did you delete that message, Mr. Miles? Now, that was a dick move. Oh, man. Jaeger says, you support the Emperor, blood of the blood god. Okay, you're going crazy, my friend. Star Trek, will you be, Josh says, will you be liking Star Trek Discovery Picard? It's not Star Trek Discovery Picard, it's just Star Trek Picard. We need to send you the padded room with Enderman and Bird of Prey. It's not, you know, here's the thing, Josh. If you don't like it, that's fine, but try, you know, stop trying to call it Star Trek Discovery Picard. Because, you know what? Yes, except for the style of dialogue writing, it's nothing like Discovery. Nerdotic isn't ignorant to people who like Picard. No, he's not. Mako says, Doomcock is not a toxic guy. He called the Discovery fans retarded idiots, mentally challenged, and the reason for everything wrong with Entertainment Tonight. I understand. Here's the thing. Doomcock is a caricature, right? Doomcock is not a person. It is a supervillain persona that a guy made up brilliantly as he's basically a fanfic. And so you need to be very careful about taking him seriously. Nerdrotic and Doomcock and Geeks and Gamers' entire business model based on monetized hate. They have to hate to keep the viewers. Now, I'm not going to say that's entirely false. I don't know, you know, but here's the thing. I get it. You know, a lot of the fandom menace. I mean, if you did build up a huge following based on a negative attitude about certain things, if you don't keep it up, then yeah, you're going to suddenly lose your ability to make money. And I am very glad that Gary is successful. As for Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, well, honestly, I didn't like Jeremy when he was rising and everything, but now that I've gotten to know him a little bit, he's all right as a person. But in fact, what I'm doing right now with recruiting people to help me on this channel is modeled after Jeremy's success, but in a different way. We're not going to succumb to the hate, right? We're going to be an alternative to the fandom menace. And in fact, we have a name for the group. It will officially be announced in the form of a song. That's all I'll say right now. But Joshua is working on an animation for it. So let's see. Daniel says, "Hey Trigger, you said last night that Patrick Stewart is a alt left wing nut job." Well, I don't think I said alt left wing because I don't usually. I don't think I say alt left wing. I also don't say alt right. I said he was a left wing nut job. He is, but that's irrelevant. And that's the thing. I don't care about the politics of an actor. I care about what's on the screen. The top of Andy Trigger's head is cut off. Oh yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? Wow. I guess the camera. Hold on. Let me. That's weird. Thank you for pointing that out. I did not realize that. So we gotta select the Brio. Boy, there we go. And then we can adjust the camera slightly.
Hello, world.
There we go. So thank you, my friend. And Andrew puts in $5 Canadian, says, "Good evening, Andy Tracker. Just got off work. Hope this chat brings me more comfort than the writers killing Icheb. Thank goodness 7 of 9 got him justice." I still don't like that. Thank you so much for the $5. I do truly appreciate that. But I don't like that 7 of 9 went to the dark side at the end. I did not like that. Bugs me. Tom says, "You send me Twitter anytime. Stop messaging me when I'm streaming." Yeah, I know. Is Steve Shives a left-wing nut job? Yes. But he's a nice guy, but yeah, he's a left-wing nut. And when I say that, I've had Steve Shives on my show back when it was called the Untitled Show About Nerdy Stuff. And I like Steve personally, but his ideology is completely nuts. And I see now the bottom is cut off. I think the camera is just like a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Well, it doesn't matter. I can't tell you why it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. Or at least it won't matter for very long. I drink to feel numb, feels good until the hangover takes hold. Forgot out the pain of disappointment. Wanted Black Hawk Down, got Office Space instead. That's life, I guess. Well, you know what? Don't get depressed about it, Jaeger. I will tell you. My life is nothing like what I wanted it to be. There's a couple of things I wanted to do when I was a kid. One, I wanted to be an astrophysicist. I didn't get to be an astrophysicist. I'm really disappointed by that fact. But you know what? I know an astrophysicist in Dr. Alex, and that's cool. He's a great guy. I wanted to be an actor, and I didn't get to be an actor. And that's a downer. But you know what? I also never would have imagined that I would have 13,000 subscribers and over 100 people that hang out with me almost every single day just to hang out and talk about stuff we love. I never would have dreamed that. So don't get down on yourself because your life didn't come out the way you wanted. Look at the things that you got that you weren't expecting. Like, you're my friend. Death Dealer says, "Ray, when someone asks you if you're God, you say yes." Mr. Ross says, "Captain Data is part of the old Countdown run. That is no longer canon, but the Countdown comics that tie into Picard are canon. It's stupid. It makes no sense. It's CBS." Well, did they say it's not canon? Or, because I know that one person I can't remember who it was, but I think it was during Sci-Fi Nation stream. Someone came up with the idea that, well, we don't know how long it took B4's brain to break down. Maybe B4 was Captain Data and then broke down. Yeager says, "I can't do cocaine nor LSD. I get what I can." Well, don't do cocaine and LSD. Wow.
Hello,
And now Thomas is saying subscribe to Mr. Miles. Yes, indeed, everybody should be subscribing to Mr. Miles, even though Mr. Miles doesn't really put videos out. Jaeger puts $5 in, says, good stuff, silver lining. Guess the first world problems are the best problems. Still alive. I love Ben friend. Thank you. God Emperor is the only God. Well, see, there you go. You met. And that's the thing. If you have first world problems, that is the best kind of problems to have. Absolutely. And yet again, I have first world problems. No work till 11 a.m. tomorrow. Well, there you go. See, it's not all bad. Because people don't need to be subbing to me. I don't want people to promote my channel. I know, Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles is a private kind of guy. I'm messing with him a little bit. But, Mr. Miles is the kind of guy that our pastor would love to mess with. He did that. I'll tell you, Mr. Miles, you would hate him because he's now our pastor. The music leader at our church is a very good personal friend of the main pastor. And Jeff throws a couple of bucks in, says Mark Alamo as T-Bach in the neutral zone. Death to Discovery. You got it, my friend. I'm going to get into one of my rants in just a minute here, just to warn you. Yes! Thank you, Chancellor. All right, so let me finish what I was saying. So Mr. Miles, so the story about my pastor. So pastor of the church is a very good friend of the music leader. And the music leader is one of those guys that doesn't, he wants his personal space. He doesn't really like people to get too close to him and stuff. That's just his, his type, right? And Fleet Paul throws a $1.99, says, death to Kuroga. Hey, Anti-Tracker, how are you? I'm doing okay, Fleet Paul. Number 15, I'll play it in just a minute. Let me finish the story this time. So here's the deal. When his birthday came up a couple of weeks ago, and the pastor from the pulpit said, hey, everybody, it's Kyle's birthday today. And this is just as Kyle's leaving the stage because they finished their musical set. He goes, it's Kyle's birthday today, so here's what I want. Everybody go over and give Kyle a hug. Which is like an ultimate nightmare to Kyle. So that's just the kind of guy he is. So and that's what people are doing to you, Miles. When they do this, they do it out of love, so don't feel too bad. Anyway, so Fleet Paul wants number 15. You got it. Then we're going to get into a little bit of a rant, I think.
Sir, we are being hailed.
On screen. What is your problem?
I am Lore.
Do you need help?
I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lore Reloaded.
Let me guess, the rubber band broke, right?
I make YouTube go.
Here we go. Classic stuff. Gene says Antrigger didn't read my comments? Gene, are you saying I didn't read your comments, or are you saying, like, Nerdrotic didn't read your comments or something? It doesn't... Because you know my rule. Just put @Anti-Trekker in like you just did, and I almost always read it. If you're talking about some of the big names in the fandom menace, like Nerdrotic or Doomcock or something, let me tell you, 2,000 people in the chat, I never catch up when I get 100. So I couldn't even imagine how, dealing with 2,000. So there's that aspect of it. And Andrew throws $10 in and says, how could you say 7 and 9 went to the dark side? Morality is subjective. Plus, the woman she killed had a hand in killing Egypt. She did more for him than Starfleet ever did. And he wore I assume he means she, wore their uniform. And number 25. Well, I don't think there's an Uber chat number 20. So we'll do number 25.
Hello.
You know. Is that what you meant?
This isn't the first time I've been tormented by a poop emoji.
So if that's what you wanted, that's great. If there was something else that you meant, then you tell me. Because nobody ever asked for that one. And there I go, hitting the wrong button. Don't go back. Thank you, Chancellor. Twice. All right, so as far as, first of all, I disagree with your premise, Andrew. I do not believe morality is subjective. I believe that there is, in fact, such a thing as absolute right and wrong. And I do think that murder is wrong. All right? And what 7 of 9, do not get it wrong, was freaking murder. She didn't kill her because of some sense of justice. She killed her out of an emotional need for vengeance. She killed her because of her emotions, not because she needed to die as some kind of, justice type situation. So, yes, she absolutely went to the dark side. Just because she had a hand, and you're just basically by saying she had a hand in killing Egypt, well, yeah, what she did was horrible. Did she deserve to die? Sure. But she didn't deserve to be murdered. She deserved to go on trial and, if necessary, get the death penalty. But no, she does not deserve to simply be executed like she was. And I would say that for anybody. All right. Now, if, for example, 7 had the drop on her and she tried to pull a gun on 7 and then 7 shot her, yeah, I'd have no problem with that. But what she did was freaking murder. And then Andrew puts another $2 in and says, pretty sure I saw Egypt in a Starfleet uniform. Yes, you did. Egypt was indeed wearing a Starfleet uniform in that opening scene. And thank you, Andrew. I do appreciate the donations. I truly do. But like I said, I disagree with your premise in the idea that morality is subjective. And I do say, even though I know it's skipping ahead, but DJ was saying, but the Rangers were judge, jury, and executioner. Let me ask you something, DJ, and I'll get to it eventually, and please put anti-checker in so I don't forget. But are you saying that because they said that in the show, or are you saying that simply to justify 7's actions? Because I think you're saying it just to justify 7's actions, to make it so that 7 didn't do the wrong thing at the end of the episode. But I'm sorry, even if 7 had the authority, like even if she had a license to kill, what she did was out of nothing more than an emotional need for vengeance. It had nothing to do with enforcing the law. Because if it was just enforcing the law, 7 would have killed her a long time ago. Just saying. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, because there's a few comments here about, Phantom Menace monetize hate, and stuff like that. So I want to talk about that for just a minute. All right. So I apologize for falling further behind in the chat, but I got to do this. You're right that yes, there are a lot of people in the Phantom Menace that make video after video after video that are negative, that are saying all these horrible things, and the reason they're saying it is to pander to their audience, and they do that to get lots of clicks, and it works, right? I know that my channel would be much larger had I decided to take that type of a strategy, but I didn't, because I didn't want to lose me in the process, right? I didn't want to become like 7 of 9 in this episode of Picard. That being said, and this is important, if we, those of us sitting here right now, want to change things, if we don't want the nerd culture to be quote-unquote toxic, if we don't want the nerd culture to continue to devolve and be divisive and all that, guess what we need to stop doing? Stop pointing the finger at them and telling us how they're being hateful. Because you know what you're doing? The same thing that the SJWs do, the same thing that certain members of the Phantom Menace do. We're all just pointing the finger at each other and saying it's your fault that we're having these problems. That doesn't fix anything. This is the Starfleet way to do things. This is the right way to do things. Somebody's got to be the first one to stop throwing the hate around. Someone's got to stop. And so that's why I'm asking you guys, and I know I can't force you because, we're just a community of friends, but I'm asking you, don't throw the hate around. It's true. There are toxic people out there. You know what you do? Disengage. Just say, I'm sorry, I can't, no, not going to deal with it. That's my advice for right now, until things settle down at least. Can we engage in debate? Absolutely. But only on the issues, not on the people. Right? I will love, and I've done it already, but I'll do it again anytime he invites me that I have the time. I love hanging out with Nerdrotic. Every Wednesday I'm hanging out with Midnight's Edge. And anytime Doomcock wants to talk to me, I'll talk to him. I love them all, and I love to debate. I will argue with them all day long about the relative caliber of Star Trek Picard compared to other shows. But I'm not going to sit there and point the finger at Doomcock or Nerdrotic or Mecha or any of the rest of them and say this is your fault that all this hate is going around. You know what? The hate in Nerdrotic's channel that someone mentioned in the chat, right? That's a horrible thing to happen. But guess what? That is on that person and that person only. It has nothing to do with Nerdrotic directly. Nerdrotic is not a hateful guy, even though he doesn't like this stuff. And yes, I disagree with them a lot. And I've told Nerdrotic to his face, and I know he watches my live streams a lot. For all I know, he's watching right now. But I've told him to his face that I do not appreciate him calling J.J. Abrams Jar Jar, right? I think it's disrespectful. I think it's wrong. Does that mean I hate Gary? No, it means I disagree with him, and that's it. Can we please, guys, please stop pointing the finger and just saying they're bad. You could say they're wrong, but let's not say they're bad. Sorry. And Fleetpaw throws a $1.99 in and says someone has to be the first to holster the phaser. Very well said, my friend, and that is exactly right. So that's my rant for tonight. Thank you. The Renegade says, afternoon, Antracker and fellow nerds. How you doing? Stuart says, Antracker, better get to get better content regarding Phantom Menace or FNN and Babylon 5. It's the dial or which articles were done with both identical using the same space drones to monitor the crew reaction. Well, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter. It really, here's the thing, Stuart. Like, I know a lot of people get mad because Deep Space Nine stole a lot of stuff from Babylon 5. That's absolutely true, but guess what? And I hate to say this, and I know it's going to piss some of you off, Deep Space Nine was a better show than Babylon 5. So, yeah. There's that. And DJ keeps saying, please, please, I'm not sure why. Willow is an underrated film. I agree. Jaeger says, I was a fool for the longest time and now having to face my false delusions after all this time. Tough coming to peace that I will never fight. It's all right, man, because it's better to have friends than to have enemies. Thomas says, Seven should have saved Icheb only to have him die in surgery. Well, she should have tried to save him rather than just shoot him. You could be an engineer and make an R2-D2. Well, except that I don't have the skills to be an engineer, and my hands don't work that well anymore because of the arthritis. 7 has better plot in Star Trek Online than on Picard. Well, I don't know her whole plot on Star Trek Online, because quite frankly, most of the plots in Star Trek Online I don't care for. Let's see. Thank you, Mr. Miles. I wasn't sure. Because you're friends with Phantom Menace, can you elaborate why, if you like something they don't, you get labeled a shill, SJW, etc.? Well, here's the thing, and I that's a great point. But let me say this. the members of the Phantom Menace that I am friends with, namely the ones that I mention most of the time, people like Gary, Nerdrotic, Doomcock, Mecha Random, Tom and Rob from Midnight's Edge, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, right? Mary Mayhem, Anna, that Star Wars girl, you know, the people that I've actually interacted with, they hardcore disagree with me. But you know what they don't call me? A shill or an SJW. They respect me. And I appreciate that. They truly do respect me. Now, here's the problem. And this is every single time. I've been on multiple panels where it's been me against 5 other people from the Phantom Menace who disagree with me. And we're fighting back and forth and having a good old time fighting back and forth. Meanwhile, if I look over in the chat, everybody in the chat is calling me a shill, calling me a sellout, calling me some fanboy for Alex Kurtzman, calling me an idiot, saying I've never watched Star Trek, blah, 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 blah. You know, so a lot of the people in the chat are saying these horrible things about me. But you know what? Fuck them. I don't give a crap what some person who wants to hide behind a comment says about me like that. You guys don't do that, right? And I appreciate that. You guys are real. You guys hang out, you know, when somebody new shows up on the live stream, it's usually like, whoa, hey, I haven't seen that name before. You guys, for the most part, we have a relationship. And that's important. So we're not going to sit there and do that, right? And I know that, yeah, it's really annoying, but here's the problem. When you got, and this is why I say don't blame, you know, don't blame the host of the show for the behavior of the chat. Now, granted, I do think it's a reflection of me that you guys are so good, and I take pride in that. I truly do. I brag about you guys anytime I get a chance. Because you guys don't do that. You guys, you know, somebody that comes on and disagrees, well, sure, you guys are going to argue with them, but you know what you're not going to do? You're not going to sit there and just insult them. But we still have a tendency as a group to point the finger and get mad at people because of the behavior of their friends, and we got to stop doing that. But really, you know, these I've been called everything in the book on Twitter and stuff like that, but most of the time these people are freaking idiots that are just looking for attention. And, you know, after I realize that, then I'll usually disengage and just call it a night, right? But yeah. There you go. Me says, what happened to your 3D printer, aka replicator? It is actually over there. I've almost gotten to a point where I can only do a little bit of physical work every day. I will tell you, it's incredibly painful for me to do things like move a desk or move a table or something like that. But I'm working on getting this room arranged so that I can get the 3D printer back up and running. Mark, I already read that. Mercer says, I mean, my friend Dave is confined to a bed, has no kidney function, has constant swelling and pain. Ah, that sucks. Well, Mercer, I'm glad that your friend Dave has you as a friend. And I mean that. Daniel says, I was so disappointed back in 2001 when I found out a new Star Trek show was a prequel. I stopped watching till season 3. I like season 3, but how did you feel? I was not thrilled about the prequel idea, but I was actually happier about it being a prequel than a sequel to Voyager. Because, quite frankly, Voyager, the technology became... It's bad enough that science is really magic in Star Trek. In Voyager, they didn't even try to hide it. You could literally do... I mean, tell me what the difference between the deflector dish and a freaking magic wand is. Because that deflector dish on Voyager could do anything. Need to go back in time? Deflector will do it. Need to travel to another dimension? Deflector will do it. I'm surprised they couldn't use the deflector to just open up a wormhole to go home. Maybe Janeway just didn't think of it. How did Geordi know what a rubber band is? That is actually a good question. The dialogue in TNG is the contemporary language from the 1990s. TOS had language from the 1960s. Well, there's some truth to that, me, but only some. I'll explain in just a second, because right now, Fleet Paw throws $1.99, says, Anti-Trekker, you are such a shilly Kurtzman fanboy. Just kidding, number 27. You jerk.
Oh, no more super chats, you bastard!
It started playing halfway through it. Stop hiding people's faces to avoid lip sync. So we'll start it over. Hey, Joshua, I just want to make sure you knew I had a new super chat idea for you. Hey,
Oh, no more super chats, you bastard!
Stop hiding people's faces to avoid lip sync. There you go. Thank you, Fleet Paw. I truly appreciate that. And thank you, Chancellor Martok. So the dialogue in TNG is contemporary language from the 1990s. TOS had language from the 1960s. Yes and no. Here's the thing. You also have to look at the difference between the dialogue from certain characters and how they were used. So, for example, in the 1980s and 90s, people were saying things like groovy and tubular and gag me with a spoon and stupid stuff like that. You didn't hear that in TNG at all right? You didn't hear contemporary slang in TNG. In TOS, the only time you heard contemporary slang was from the freaking space hippies. Why? Because they were space hippies, and they were a direct parody of the hippie culture of the 1960s. In TNG, well, yeah, you had people that they had in cryogenic freeze since, I don't remember, the 80s or 90s, and they acted like people from the 80s or 90s. But people that were native to the 23rd and 24th century spoke, except for the space hippies, spoke with a slightly more formal form of English, meaning they didn't use slang, they didn't use swear words, generally. Now, that's not 100% true. For example, when Kirk's true love was brutally killed in front of him, he said, "Let's get the hell out of here." But that's a pretty extreme circumstance. The one thing that really breaks that is when Data said, "Oh, you know the word," when the Enterprise D was about to crash. And that was probably the single worst line in second generation Star Trek. And yes, there have been a lot of doozies, but that one, worst line in the entire franchise to that point. Steven puts $2 in. Jonathan Frank's fanboy. He's directing. I'm shilling. He actually, he's a good director. As long as he's directing TV episodes. I don't think he should direct movies, but he is a good TV episode director. Thomas says, maybe Laura was changed to a female, and that's who Dr. Girardi is. I doubt it, because Laura didn't look truly human. It's my 11th wedding anniversary today. I'm cooking her dinner now. Would you do me a favor and give me a minute heads up so I can get her in the room and wish her anniversary? All right, I will give you 1 minute from right now.
I'm just a streaming dirt bag, baby.
See what I did? I'm doing the countdown.
I'm a sexy Asian woman.
Come
to my 4 minutes. That's
live stream. Don't say maybe.
We're just grooving to some Bird O' Prey.
It never ends till you go crazy.
Hedonism bot O' Prey. Oh yeah. A little bit of Bird O' Prey 5. Yeah. That's right.
I'm just a streaming dirt.
He's a streaming dirtbag, baby.
Baby. Come to my live stream. Don't say maybe. It never
Mike Richards
ends.
loves this song. I actually like this song. I think it's pretty good for
crazy.
Yes. Bird of Prey singing is absolutely classic. But why were we listening to Bird O' Prey 5 singing? Well, there's a very specific reason for that. And that's because my good friend, the Renegade 79, is celebrating his 11th wedding anniversary today with his absolutely wonderful wife, who is, let me tell you, Mrs. Renegade. I don't know your name, but let me tell you, if you can hear me right now, you could have done better. but you didn't. You took him and you made him one of the luckiest guys on the planet. And so congratulations on 11 years. I hope that you have at least 39 more years to go. And so congratulations on your 11th anniversary. And I hope that that dinner that he's making is freaking awesome. It better be, because otherwise this is like completely not worth me saying. So there you go. Happy anniversary, you lovebirds. All right, back to yeah. I hope they're having a great time right now. Let's see. Now, unfortunately, I'm so far behind in the chat that now it jumped on me. So there we go. DJ says, Picard even said earlier that the Rangers was that and first talked to her. Picard even said earlier that the Rangers was that when he first talked to her in the hologram. What, that they were judge, jury, and executioner? Well, I don't know that he said executioner, but okay. And you are welcome, Renegade. Mert says, don't need 7 or other characters to make it right decisions to make a good story. Well, I'm not saying that the story was horrible, but I didn't like that choice. I think that was the wrong choice. I think that the Trek thing to do, because here's the thing, Trek is all about humanity elevating above his baser instincts. But at the end of this, and this is the thing, it's an easy, cheap payoff to do what we want them to do, right? Here's the, like, think about this. When in the Joker movie, if you haven't seen the freaking Joker movie, let me tell you something. There is a freaking reason Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor. This movie is freaking amazing. See it. But in that movie, the Joker brutally kills 3 guys. They were complete a-holes. And you know what every single one of us seeing that movie felt like? Yes, they got what they deserved. You know what they didn't get? What they deserved. They didn't deserve to be murdered, even though they were complete a-holes. Yes, it's easy to say that she got what she deserved when 7 killed her. That doesn't make it morally right. It just makes it justified in our kind of sense of balance, but that's, you know, a flawed perspective at best. Andrew threw 10 more bucks and says, weakest storyline since Picard went into space. Fun little thing when Elnor didn't get an ad. Also, the imagery of Doctor, I didn't want to punch the ad, but did her lover in without much of a second thought. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that. So, yeah, honestly, I was kind of wondering why she was so afraid of violence, but then she killed him. Except, I mean, I don't know what she saw, what maybe Commodore O showed her, but dang. All right, back to the chat, because I'm way the heck behind now. Phantom Menace is pornography to fan rage. Forgive me for loving it. I'm loving seeing it. I hate myself for the degeneracy. It always feels good. That's all right. At least Sonic is a sign of positivist, I think. I haven't saw it yet. I think I will. I know that Joshua Scarved Insect, my son who does the animations, he loved it. Are you saying that what 7 didn't do, what 7 didn't serve 2 purposes? You can both get revenge and serve the need for justice in one fell swoop. Doesn't make it, you know, you're just trying to justify murder. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. What she did was murder. She did not do, you know, if she is the ranger, meaning that she is like the law enforcement of the area, she should have freaking arrested her. Excuse me. Starfleet pulled out of the area. The Rangers was the established law of the area. Even Picard admitted that they are the law. Yes, so she should have arrested her. I agree, you're right on, but remember, no good deed goes unpunished. Very true. Mike says, preach, brother. Thank you, my friend. Tromer says, greetings, Sanctuary and fellow nerds. How you doing? And by the way, let me say something real quick as far as the positivity thing. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, positivity is not sexy. It's not going to make this channel grow by massive amounts, which is stupid and pathetic, but it's the truth. So I'm asking you guys as a favor, go out there and, like, when you see, like, for example, today we released not just my review, but also the everything great about the first episode of Picard by Life with Matthew. Life with Matthew is continuing to try to take the optimistic view of looking at Picard, while I'm taking a more pessimistic view, because that's what I do better. And we're going to continue this through the series, and maybe if it gets popular, we'll do it into other franchises. Please support that video. Like it, share it, do what you can, because we need more positive stuff out there. We really, really do. And not shill stuff. Genuine positive stuff. Wesley's in the house, says, what are you talking about? Well, among other things, a secret meeting that we recorded.
Riker, I could go either way on.
Hey, Riker was a pretty handsome man, so.
That's what I meant. Just to be clear.
Miles says, yes, nobody's recording. Sure,
Yeah,
Mr.
sure,
Miles.
Mr. Miles. I would pay that, Josh Street. If anybody gets a Michael Burnham autograph and thinks they're going to get me to pay for it, I will pay for a Michael Burnham autograph. Now, William Shatner autograph, yeah, you're out of your mind. I would take it if it was free, yes, but I don't think I would pay.
Yeah, so there we go. We know that you were talking about the fact that Bird would not pay for a William Shatner autograph, but he would pay for a Michael Burnham autograph. So there we go. And Death by Rabies throws $5 in. Thank you so much, my good friend, and says, fully not Trek for 7 to kill that bee, but I'm liking Picard rather than no Trek at all. Agree. Picard is definitely better than no Trek, while Discovery is not. You know, that's the difference. Steven says, hey, Trigger, some people do like to incite the flames of passion. I know. And that's why, but we need to balance it. And that's why I love the fact that for every time I get negative about Picard with my everything wrong with, Matthew's going to do everything right with. And we're going to actually try to intercut the two to see what happens if we blend them into one video, see if people like it. I love both DS9 and Babylon 5. Why not? Well, that's great. I like both shows too. I'm not saying that you can't love both, but I'm saying that I think objectively Deep Space Nine is a better show. It's better produced, it's better directed, it's better written, it's better. The one thing that Babylon 5 has better than DS9 is a better story. But every individual episode on Deep Space Nine adds up to better production, better acting, better characters. I think different episodes of B5 and DS9 are better or worse than each other. Well, if you take the best episode of Babylon 5 against the worst episode of Deep Space Nine, sure. But pound for pound, I think Deep Space Nine is a better show. Dreamers out there says, I got called out tonight on Trek Yards for telling people Doomcock was a nice guy. Say he was an entertainer. He's just making that money, even though I said I disagree with him a lot. Well, you know, that's the problem. Here's the biggest problem with being a nice guy. I'm going to tell you guys this straight up because I've experienced it left and frickin' right. If you are a genuine nice guy, especially those of you that are willing to go out there and produce content, I'm looking at you, DJ, I'm looking at you, Sci-Fi Nation, I'm looking at you, Wesley, all right? When you guys are out there, if you have the balls to be even-handed and nice about this stuff, you are going to get hate from both sides. You will always get hate from both sides. Be ready for it and be proud of it. Because that's how we win the battle. We take the hate and we continue on being the nice guys. We continue on doing what's right despite the fact that we're going to get hell for it. If we don't do that, then we're just as bad as they are. Schromer says, Antricker, Babylon 5 was a far better show than DS9. Well, disagree on that. Commander Shark says, DS9 better than Babylon 5. Agree to disagree, my friend. Long live Turtisan, the freedom to lime what you will, but not what others force you. Okay. DJ says, the point is, he knew he wasn't going to make it, didn't want Seven being caught to get him out. That's why he wanted him to finish her off. Yeah, but she shouldn't have done it. But here's the thing. The Mercy killing, all right, they could have made it a little more obvious that he couldn't make it out, right? And that would have been better. But that wasn't, you know, the only thing I didn't like about the Mercy killing sequence was ripping out the dude's eyeball was so stupid, over-the-top gore. That was not necessary. The only death in the episode that I really got a little upset about was that Seven went back to murder that chick. Jaeger says, you are not a shill, thank you. J. Pez says, I just watched last night's episode. The killing of Maddox had me PO'd. Yeah, I was a little disappointed about that. But I did, I understand. I mean, because here's the thing. The reason I'm not upset about her killing Maddox like I am with Seven is that clearly what she did was wrong. And that's going to come back to bite her in the butt. SC says, I'm down with constructive criticism and debate. Why do the Phantom Menace feel the need to make up pretty much outright false rumors, at least in regard to Trek? I don't know why some people are doing it. I genuinely don't. All right? But, all we can do is say, hey, that ain't true. Let's move on. Or, and here's the thing that I say all the time, it's not relevant. When people say, oh, did you hear that Alex Kurtz, and there's one of them, Alex Kurtzman punched a TV set because he's so pissed off at Doomcock over Doomcock's latest rants about Alex Kurtzman. You know what I say to that? Who the hell cares? That has nothing to do with what's on screen. So, yeah. What stuff do you want to 3D print? Oh, man. There are so many things I want to 3D print, man. Among them, I want to make things for you guys. I've already been, I promised years ago, and unfortunately I've not been good on my promise. And there are some people that are really kind of pissed off at me, and I understand, and justifiably so, that I promised that I would send out 3D printed starships to people, and then the whole thing with my back happened, and everything just went to hell. I want to get back to that. I want to print 3D models of ships of my own design and other people's designs if people want to get into designing them. Also little knickknacks like characters from some of the super chats, like the little turd icon that hits the button and that and stuff like that. Spinning Spock. I want to make a spinning Spock 3D printable thing, stuff like that. And some of it I'll sell, some of it I'll give to you guys. But I got to get back into the swing of things. And right now, I'm just fighting, it's difficult. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm having a hell of a time with work. It's really, really been difficult. And the reason it's been so difficult is the pain. I can't, like right now, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm drinking, I would not be able to be sitting up right now. And I'm not lying to you about that. And the problem is that I can't drink all day while I'm on the job. And so I just have to grin and bear the pain. It's killing me, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping and praying that this channel continues to grow and I get to a point where I can just do this full time. Because if I don't know how I'm going to last more than, a few months on my job, let alone years. And I got to take care of my family. I have to. And so if it puts me in the grave, I will keep working as long as but I need to find a way to get past the pain. And the only way I know to do that is this. And Herbs to Magus, yeah, that's good advice, except that it's not legal where I live. And and I've tried it, by the way. When I visit my daughter in Oregon, I have tried that. It actually does work really well. The problem is that if I did that, the company I work for does do testing every now and then, so that would not be good. People should be happy that the Phantom Menace is successful. Picard is stepping stone towards good Trek. I agree. And that's the thing that I think some people in the Phantom Menace are losing sight of, is that there's stuff, even the fact that Luke Skywalker apologized in Rise of Skywalker, that should be considered the biggest victory the Phantom Menace has ever had, and instead, they're crapping all over the movie. After episode 5 of the pirate French pimp Picard, your name has been mentioned all over the place on social media. Oh, Lordy. Nassim, that scares me. If you're actually seeing my name on social media, that's scary. Can't stay, but I dropped in to give the stream a light. Thank you, Shrummer. Thank you, Carrie, Trekker, and fellow nerds. I know you're long gone. May you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead. I love that prayer. Hashtag Babylon 5 was better. Hashtag free Auntie. Well, Auntie is, as you can see, diligently sleep. Well, she's awake. Oh, my goodness, she's awake. You're awake. Auntie, you're awake. Oh my goodness, I have to give you a treat. You looking at me with those big old eyes. There you go. My favorite puppy. Thomas says, Andrew, you're a very welcoming person. After all, you are nice to a man with orphans and minds, a crazy person like me, a furry, a Stargate fan, a crazy commie, and a dink. Hey, you know what? We're all weirdos, right? In our own way. Every single one of us. I'm just the lucky bastard that gets to sit by the microphone and talk. That's, I tell you, if I would be crying my eyes out right now if I wasn't just trying to hold back the pain. But just from that. But seriously, we are a community. We need to hang on to that. To boom makes lip sync. To boom makes lip. Oh, I see. You mean Toon Boom makes lip sync easy though. Why does Josh not like to animate it? Well, you'd have to ask him. I don't use Toon Boom myself. He does. So I don't know what his problem with doing lip sync is, because he does hate doing lip sync with a passion. Daniel says, matter and energy are interchangeable, so is it possible to create a replicator? In fact, I think NASA's working on one. Matter came from energy from the Big Bang, and replicators are coming. Yeah, good luck with that. It's space magic. It is space magic. We are nowhere even remotely close to being able to manipulate the kinds of energy it would take to convert. We can convert matter into energy. Do you know what that's called? Nuclear fission. You know what we can't do? Convert energy into matter. We can't do that at all. And we can't, so yeah, that's, yeah. Antjugger should build a Bird of Prey 5 hedonism robot. You know what, that's a 3D print right there, is to build a Bird of Prey 5 hedonism robot. All in yellow. It'd be an easy one to do, relatively speaking. Once I have to improve my 3D modeling skills to make it look like Bird, or get one of you guys to do it. But yeah, absolutely. That's got to be on the list. Enter, I have no problem with someone killing her. Me, I believe some people deserve to die. Wolverine. Wow. Wolverine definitely has a certain ethics that are not compatible with mine. Renegade says she loved it. I'm very glad. And you stop listening. What the hell are you doing listening to me? Go, hang out with your wife, make her the best frickin' dinner ever, and have a romantic evening and do all sorts of things that you don't need to tell us about. Let's see. Sci-Fi is still live and ain't played number 15. We did play number 15! Were you not paying attention? Greetings, turds, birds, or crazy friends, says Wesley. Hey, Wes. I think the Furnace Rangers take on the Texas Rangers, and didn't they have the same duties? Were they judge, jury, and executioners? I don't know. I'm not an expert on the Texas Rangers. Ask Alexander. You can't expect everyone outside the Federation to behave like the Federation. This is a Federation-based show, I might agree, but if anything, Starfleet is the enemy. I understand that, Ensign Ricky, but here's the problem with that. Our heroes are Federation. Picard is Federation. Rios is Federation. Seven is Federation. Right? They understand the ethics of the Federation. I heard in the comics there are 3 Jokers. That I don't think that's official canon, but yeah, I've heard that too. Or you do realize that I have a video about the human condition. Okay. I'm not saying you don't. Man of Sand says, are we likely to see time travel in the new Picard show? Should it or should it not have time travel? I don't think time travel would be a good idea. This show's a little more grounded than that. How often did the sheriffs in the Old West arrest criminals? I'm sure them and their posse shot or hung outlaws all the uptime. Well, here's the thing. Does that... And seriously, me. You're arguing that because other people have done it, that makes it right. And that's not the case. If 100,000 people break into houses, rape the women, and murder the men, does that mean doing that is right? Heck no, of course not. You wouldn't argue that. So why are you arguing this? Same thing. Morning, well, who directs the next couple of episodes? I don't know. Unlike a lot of people, I don't look up that stuff. I'm not obsessed with trying to figure out what the next episode is going to be. I take it as they come, and I'm really looking forward to it. Right now, I've got too much on my plate to worry about it, like my next Everything Wrong With video, because we're on to Picard episode 2. I want to eventually get caught up, and then if it keeps going well, I'm going to do Everything Wrong With other Trek stuff. I still have reviews that I'm way behind on, but and I know I've said this a few times, but Darren and the rest, if you're listening, the reason I haven't done some of those reviews that I promised is because of the pain. And once I'm out of that pain mode and I can think more positively about stuff, then I will. And that's the amazing thing. I am in a constant state of agitation, and I'm still positive about Picard. That's amazing. As you can even ask, Mrs. Antracker's not up here with me right now, but the next time she comes on with me, you could ask her, and she will be the first to tell you that, yeah, I have been a bitch to be around. And I mean, like, I've just been horrible. I've been very snappy and very angry all the time. It's been difficult to deal with me. So, yeah, I have the best wife ever. Wesley said, I'm pretty sure there's a law for using recordings out of context. Maybe someone should report you. I don't think that, that recording was not out of context. The other Rangers have probably also praised them for taking her out since she was their top mark to take down. Well, I don't know, maybe so, but I still don't believe that murder is the right thing to do. I'm not being negative, that's not what I'm trying to do, but I've got to say, Mecha and Neurotic Midnight's Edge can learn a lesson in positivity from Irish Trekkie and Trek Collector. Well, I've heard of Irish Trekkie and Trek Collector, but I don't know them personally. I don't watch their videos. If they're positive, that's awesome, but here's the thing. Mecha and Nerdrotic and Midnight's Edge have built up huge followings. It's kind of hard to argue with 200,000 subscribers for Nerdrotic. I would love, you know what? I'll be completely honest with you, and I've had this conversation with Mrs. Anti-Checker and others. I've seriously considered going the dark path. I've seriously considered saying, you know what? Screw it. Maybe I should just start going pure hate, because 200,000 subscribers, right? I could quit my job. Things would be easier. I could, move to a place where certain herbal remedies are legal. It would be easy. It would be so tempting to do that, but it would be the wrong thing to do. Agree on D Space 9 being better than B5. Also love B5 and sing its praises. Hey, nothing wrong with that. By the way, I wanted to know so I can plug our Sci-Fi Nation. Are you planning on streaming? And if not, is DJ streaming? Is somebody doing an after show? I think it's a good idea to cut Matthew what's right and wrong. Yeah, we're gonna try that on episode 2 and see if people like it. Scott says, I've got to say, until Star Trek Picard started, Picard was one of my favorite captains. Now Cisco for sure. Just wanted to say, hey, you know what? But that's the thing. I think we've gotten a good examination of Picard. We've kind of lifted the veil off of it. That's the thing. And DJ says, I think sci-fi is. Can you confirm that sci-fi if you're here? Because I want to make sure. I'm going to wrap it up once I get caught up on the chat. All the negativity in our society has infected everything, it seems. News, politics, passionate people of both sides. Treat others as you wish to be treated, a cure to hate. I agree. Sci-Fi Nation says, I'm an arsehole. Yes, you are. DJ says, go back and listen to my live stream review of Picard this week. Ensign Ricky and I were saying great things about the episode. We did like it. I know, but here's the thing, DJ. I'm not accusing you guys of anything. I'm pointing the finger at you guys saying, be ready for the hate, because right now your channels are small and relative, and I'm not trying to be a dick saying this, okay? Truly, I'm not trying to be a dick saying this, because I think, DJ, you and Sci-Fi Nation and others at your level are the next generation that's going to come up, right? So don't think that, so you're not getting it right now, because when you're at 100, 200, 300, 500 subs, you're off the radar of the big boys, right? And so you're not getting a lot of focus. Once you break 10,000 subs, I start getting random hate from people I've never even heard of for everything. And so be ready for it. And when it happens, if you're ready for it, you won't let it affect you. Sci-Fi, I love the hate. Make love to you. Make me love you that much more. Okay. The Rangers like the sheriffs of the Old West. How many times did sheriffs kill their allies? That doesn't justify it. If somebody else does it, doesn't make it right. Maddox is dead. Yep. Let the hate fill you. Dreamer Roulette says, I'm a big Babylon 5 fan, pretty big DS9 fan, and I wouldn't even attempt to decide which I like better. They're different shows. DS9 have 3 times the money per episode, so yeah, different. Well, but you have to acknowledge, regardless of which one you may like the story better, you can't deny that Deep Space Nine was a better produced show. 3D print the Foley class. I tried to do that once. It didn't quite work out because the 3D model that Captain Foley gave me had holes in it, and so it wouldn't print properly. It's funny because when you build a 3D model in a program like Blender or whatever 3D program you use, I used to have Maya. I loved Maya, but I can't afford it anymore. If I ever can afford it again, I'll probably get it again. But the problem is my arthritis. I'm probably never gonna be a great 3D modeler again. And I used to make some great spaceships, but that being said, the 3D model program, you have to make a seamless model. If it has holes in it, the 3D printer will completely screw up.
Hello, world.
And Orville Nation throws $5 in, says innovation, creativity, networking, etc. can also lead to a large channel. I hope you're right, Orville. I truly hope you're right. It's just like our conversation that we had today, Orville. I'm hoping that little things like that will not only help you grow, but help me grow in the long term. That's my ultimate goal. And of course, one of the reasons that I'm partnering with you and others that are making videos on this channel now is to not just grow my channel, but grow the sense of community as well. And if you guys just make videos for my channel, or you continue to make videos on your own channel, that's completely up to you. I'm not trying to, there's no exclusiveness to our arrangement, but I hope that as a team, we can become a greater force for good. I never been mad at you over the 3D ships. I still have my certificate on the wall. I know, Thomas, but there are people that every now and then they'll throw me some, where the hell's my ship kind of thing. And it's like, I gotta keep saying the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I am broken right now. It would be cool if you did a video on the kind of explain the 3D printer and showed something from beginning to result. You know what? I will definitely do that once I have the printer up and running again. Because, and you know what? I'll be completely honest with you. I'm thinking about doing not really a fundraiser, but just hoping to get enough super chats together and stuff to get a better kind of 3D printer that will be a little bit easier for me to use, number one, but also create higher quality models using a resin 3D printer, but they're more expensive. Like the 3D printer I got was a few $100s. We're talking about a couple of thousand. Daniel says, the video I sent you, engineers Neo and Trinity are flying in the air above the buildings. Well, here's the thing though, Daniel, and I'll check it out when I get a chance, but you don't have to send me that stuff because the behind this, when the Matrix 4 comes out, I will see it. You don't have to sell me on it. Maybe it's time to move to a legal state. The problem is that's not that easy. I mean, I'd have to sell the house. Our house is full of stuff, which we would have to pack up and move, and I'm in no physical state to do that. And then there's, career considerations and stuff. That's why I said if the YouTube channel exploded, if I had 200,000 subs like Nerdrotic, and I know I keep saying that, but man, 200,000 subs. If I had 200,000 subs like Nerdrotic, because I'm making the kind of Nerdrotic money that Nerdrotic's probably making, then yeah, you know what I would do? I wouldn't even bother to sell this house. I'd keep this house, but buy another house in Illinois, because Illinois is close by. Illinois is just a few hours. And that way I could go to Illinois during the week and then come back home on the weekends. And I would do that. Rio sort of helped Seven kill. He purposely left transporter pattern enhancer on the console to use. I also suspect Picard knew Seven was going back when he let Seven take the phasers. I tend to believe that too, but I don't like it. Have you considered changes to your diet? I have. Much, and I hate it. Ginger and other anti-inflammatory foods. Sugar also worsens inflammation. Diet can work miracles. I don't, actually, my sugar intake is very low. There's sugar in the alcoholic drinks I drink, but that's pretty much all the sugar intake I have. Dan says, how was Picard? It was actually pretty good. Jeff says that cloaked drink really works well. It even makes part of your cloaked when you raise the glass in front of you. Yeah, it's amazing. Time to see I Be Gone. Have a great day. I hope we see you next time. Checker me poop. Thank you so much, Stuart. JPez says, so no Energon or Energon cubes. I wish there were. It would be cool. 7 to 9 the Rangers had a series. Well, possibly. How far behind is Checker on the chat? About 12 minutes. They're not Federation anymore. I know. Replicators are just tiny 3D printers of the size of nanobots. Well, I wouldn't like that because 3D printers actually don't print any type of material, you know. Most 3D printers either print resin or melted plastic, and that's it. Right? You can get 3D printers that print metal, but they're much more expensive. June throws 10 Australian dollars into the chat. Says, here's to the Anti-Checker 3D Printer Fund. Keep up the great content coming. You rock. Number 23. Well, I will play number 23 in a minute, June. But you know the rule. You put Australian money in. We need to hear from an Australian.
Oi, it's my Aussie accent. It's the dingoes. We have to worry about the dingoes and the roos. The dingoes and the roos, they fight. And the shrimp fall off the Barbie.
Thank you, Chancellor. All right, back to it. Ryan says, don't worry, Seven didn't kill that woman. She aimed at a portable transporter and she beamed her into space jail. All is fine. Well, that makes it much better. And the explosion of blood, that was nothing. To me, Babylon 5 would have been better if it ended at Season 4. DS9 ended well and cleaning, but not as good as Macross Frontier. Okay. I'm happy birthday. Yo, we're letting people showcase on your channel now? What? I am happy that you are letting people showcase on your channel. Oh, okay. I got it now. Well, thank you, Charles. I'm actually very excited about it. It's not just showcasing. I mean, we're basically, here's the thing. Like when Darren's been the most popular stuff so far. But when Darren puts a video on my channel, he's earning money. He's going to get the ad revenue for that video. Well, most of it. So, yeah. Is 100,000 people jumped off a bridge, would you? That's the exact same argument, yes. It's possible that some or all of the Picard show is in his mind from his illness. I do not buy that for a second. This is not Federation space. It has its own set of rules and laws. That doesn't make it right. Location doesn't change what is moral and what is not. I understand that some people believe it is. I do not believe morality is relative. I'm watching while I cook. My computer's in the kitchen, so I can watch the news and stuff while I cook. All right, Renegade. You better be done by now. I'm sure you better be into, like, you know, dessert time right now and then loving time and all that. You don't need to tell us about that, but yeah. Love you, my friend, but drink another one. You'll be all right. Jaeger, when I say, okay, when you say 7 to 9 is a Ranger, not Federation, I know she's not currently enlisted in the Federation. What I mean is she knows Federation ethics. Oh no, the room is now spinning while flying close to the sun is fun. There's burning to reckon with. Ralph says, I believe that forgiving them is God's function. Our job is simply to arrange the meeting. General Norman Schwarzkopf. Well, that is a very poor theological statement, because you know what that means to General Norman Schwarzkopf. I don't know if he actually said that, but if he did and he meant it, that is a path right to hell. Just saying. And Herbus Magus, thank you so much, puts $2 in. Says, love and support you and your mission, Auntie. Cheers. Thank you so much, Herbsta Magus. I truly, truly appreciate it. Real life Old West officer kill counts is exaggerated, but that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Just because they may have done it doesn't make it right. My theory is the twins were created from Laura's neurons and Dr. Girardi's DNA. Your thoughts? They are perfectly imperfect. I don't know. I do think Laura may have something to do with it, though. Thomas says, you have been angry? I haven't noticed. Yeah, it happens every now and then. I applaud your ethics. Thank you, Jeff. You know, it's great to have ethics, but it would be nice to have money, too. Did a large channel sell their souls to get that size? You'd have to ask them. I don't know. And let's see. Be yourself, Trigger. When you start conforming to what others expect, that's when people like me nope out. I know. And that's the thing. That's why, you know, like, I appreciate the growth that the channel has had, but that's also why this channel will probably never explode with growth. But if we can continue to grow at a steady rate, eventually we'll get to a point where we're self-sufficient. Mr. Mouse says, you were doing nearly pure hate thing back during the article days, and they didn't do that well. I think you're oversimplifying things. Well, actually, I think if we had continued that, we would have grown. JPez says, don't be pure hate. You actually have morals, and I commend you for it, especially in this stage in age. Thank you so much. June says, good. Let the hate flow through you. Use your pain. No. Tubian says, you could make a recording of yourself doing Hypnoturd and just play it when someone requests it instead of doing it live. I know, but it's, you know, just one of those things I've never gotten around to doing. Here's what you do. Create a comedy character, maybe with a robot head. Then you can spew the hate as a character, not anti-checker. I've actually considered that. In fact, here's what I actually consider doing. I'm not kidding. Some of you have seen this before. This was one of my 3D printing experiments. And it came out really, really well. Some of you will recognize this mask. This is Victor Von Doom. Dr. Doom, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the Fantastic Four. And I was thinking about making a slightly more intricate version of this mask that I could wear, of course, and actually do live streams as, or not just live streams, but do videos as Dr. Doom. And that would be my evil persona and stuff. And in fact, one thing that Dr. Doom would do every now and then is call out Doomcock for stealing his thing, because Dr. Doom has been around for a long time. That's something I've considered doing, but I've ultimately keep tabling it. I may yet do that one day, but it's a ways off. Let's see, where are we? Jaeger says, good night. Have a good one, Jaeger. You're probably long gone. Just keep being you. Keeps us coming back. Thank you, Charles. What does a dog need with a starship? Auntie? Auntie, you need a starship? You need a starship? Auntie says she doesn't need a starship. Was Maddox played by the same person? No, he was not, which is unfortunate. Figured out the name, you fellow nerds binding together, the Nerd Collective. You are wrong, but I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is until you get the song announcing what it is, which Joshua, like I said, is actually in the process of animating. And hold on, the chat screwed up. Let's see. Twins were created. Read that. Be yourself. Read that. Good. Read that. Comedy character. Read that. Good night. Going back. Dog. You saw Maddox played with the same person. Nerd Collective. All right. Is the doctor that killed Maddox going to turn out to be Maddox created an android prototype that used small part of lore as the basis of his creation, therefore have lore's flaws? Don't know. We'll see. DJ says, I got a spare bedroom I can rent you out per week cheap. Well, I don't even know what state you're in, DJ, so how would I know if does that benefit me? And you know what? Thank you, but I don't know that I would want to live with you, because you seem like kind of a freak and you're a furry and everything, and I don't want to wake up one night and see like a little shining thing going on, if you know what I mean. But even so, I would still have to have the channel to the point where I could afford to do that. There are a lot of new faces names around here. Well, there are actually a few new ones, but you know what? They're starting to be regulars as well. And that's like Man of Sand has been a regular, but a newer one. There are a lot. I already read that. Mike Richards says, my wife and I think that certain people who bitch about not getting 3D models have never had a serious physical injury and have no empathy. Well, I appreciate that, Mike. But you know what? It's a fair criticism because I did make those promises and then I didn't keep them. I get that. Why not do some research on what topics YouTubers are interested in and then find stuff you like to cover and maximize your prospects? Well, here's the problem with that, man, is that you could do that, but you're going to end up talking about stuff that you don't care about. And I don't want to do that. I love Trek. I am a Trekkie through and through. And you know what? I talk about Marvel movies and stuff like that because I love Marvel movies. I am a hardcore Marvel fan. I have over 5,000 comics in my collection. About 90% of them are Marvel comics. I love me some Marvel. And in fact, it's funny because after I talked to Paul Jenkins, and I don't know if Orville Nation is still here, but after our talk with Paul Jenkins, I actually bought a couple of Paul Jenkins' work. I haven't read them yet, but I got them just because I wanted to read his work. But anyway, I talk about stuff I love and care about. I'm not gonna research it because if I research it, I'm gonna lose what I am. 7 needs short trek to do the main character. I would actually agree with that. I wouldn't mind a 7, some more focus on 7. Friday, February 21st, 2020. 8 more days till March 1st, 2020. Okay, not sure why you're saying that. Rocket Las Vegas, rocket engines are almost 100% 3D printed. Yeah, but the metal 3D printers are very, very expensive.
Hello, world.
And I would love to get one, but no, I'm not going to pay for that because just getting the metal to put into one of those things would be ridiculously expensive. And Andrew puts $5 more in there. Forget dogs eating starships. Starfleet needs to make the USS Porthos as a replicator dedicated exclusively to cheese. I'll drink to that. Woo, I'm invisible. Where was I? Replicators use transporter technology to turn organic matter into food. This from the tech manuals. Where does the organic matter come from? Waste extraction. I'm not making this up. No, I knew that. Patrick Stewart has the worst French accent. I've heard that. I couldn't tell because I don't know, speaking French, I don't know a good one from a bad one. Mr. Mouse says, you lie. Clearly the most popular producer on your... I'm clearly the most popular producer on your channel. Strokes ego. Okay. Wesley says, it makes me sad when I miss you reading my comments. Well, then stop going away. Ryan says, it wasn't exploding blood. It was a red confetti that also shot from portable transporter. Oh, I missed that. And me says, metal powder 3D printers are $5,000 to $10,000. Yeah, they actually go a lot higher than that. Why don't you stream from that big room in your house that's next to your video that you showed earlier today? I wish that was an actual room in my house, but that was a YouTube video. And that's why I was able to freeze program. Picard is technically, Picard could technically have a different crew every season. It's a show about Picard, not ship. That's true. JP says, best Doctor Doom mask ever. Thank you. I actually printed like 3 of them. 2 of them I gave away in a contest. Darren Wagner won one of them, and Alex Lees, Dr. Alex, won the other. And they both have them right now. So... fun fact. If you ever see a video of Darren where he shows his face, look behind him. You'll see the Dr. Doom mask. I don't think we've grown past 10. I don't think we would have grown past 10,000 yet if we were doing articles still. I think the first non-article video was focused on the response to Darren, wasn't it, the 3rd time? Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Moss, what really pushed us to the next level was when you got your editing skills up to the next level. I mean, you do get a lot of credit for that. After the triple timeline video, I decided it was clearly the better path. It was more enjoyable to make and have better views, vastly superior views. Yes. Then the Borg origin video, which blew up. And now we're kind of stagnant right now. It's hard to get a lot of views, but I understand that's because of the time of year, and hopefully that will change in the next month or 2. And let's see, maybe the most popular video on your channel, depending on which stats you're looking at, second by views, but first in other areas. Yeah, keep stroking yourself. Epic Beard says, DJ is in Illinois. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. They should have cut the Rafi Sun scene, served no point other than placing a death flag on Rafi. I agree. Got a weird thought. This is not a spoiler. I don't know where Picard is going, but what if Maddox is not really dead? Well, then he's very good at faking it. Sci-Fi says, go to bed! Well, I'm almost caught up. Orville says, cool. Oh, yeah, I mentioned you earlier, didn't I? But I don't remember what it was. But glad that you think it's cool, whatever it was that I said about you a because I remember I said, I don't know if you're still here, Orville, but I don't remember what I was talking about now. Well, have you ever thought about making what-if videos based on Trek? Those types of videos seem to get a lot of views. I have, actually. The problem with those videos isn't... here's the thing, is that Mr. Miles and I are actually working towards something like that. But, you know, there's that. They have 3D food printers. They do. But I don't know if I'd want to eat a cheeseburger out of one. And Wesley's asking DJ for the rent, and he says $25 a week. Wow, that's pretty cheap. I'll give you that. But I'd still need to be able to do this as my primary work, because I wouldn't be able to take my work with me to your place, as much as that would be fun. And I don't know that I'd want to be away from the family 5 days a week. My point about going on those recent videos is because I do not believe we'd be doing all that well if we were doing articles on hate. Well, it depends on how we did it, but I think we could. Let's do a test. Let's do a new article video with my new editing style. I don't want to do a new article video because I'm done with articles. I've said it over. I agreed with you on that. I don't think it's the right way to go. Not because of the views, not because of the subs, but because it's just not us. CBS says never say never about William Shatner returning to Star Trek. Well, CBS can blow me. I don't give a crap. Oh, and I have 1 gig internet speed. Well, good, so do I. And Normal is sleeping, says Mercer. Well, I hope Normal has a good rest. All right, so Sci-Fi Nation, are you, in fact, going to start a live stream? If you are, you better start it quick, because I'm going to tell people to go there, and if you don't have it ready, nobody's going to come there, and then you're going to feel like a freaking idiot. I think there was the most fun Picard episode, except dissecting the Borg scenes, which did really need it. I didn't think it needed it. I thought that the Icheb scene was way too graphic. Yes, he is, says DJ. Yeah, well, I didn't hear from him saying that. Sci-Fi is streaming now. Is he really? That dick. Really? He just started streaming on his own, huh? Let's see. We'll go to YouTube. And yeah, I guess Sci-Fi. I guess I'm going live again.
You don't make no pudding pops out of you buried.
So yes, I guess Sci-Fi is in fact streaming right now. All right, so that's good. All right, so what I want you guys to do, and I'm very serious right now, is, because we were talking about supporting the nerd community, and I absolutely mean that. So even if you don't feel like sticking around and just hanging out with Sci-Fi, here's the link to his actual stream. Go there, at least just go say hi and give him a like. You can do that much. It's not that big a deal. I know you can do it. I'm going to go over and hang out with him for a couple minutes. Oh, it sounds like he's been drinking. Yep, Sci-Fi's definitely been drinking.
Look on Twitter, bud. I'll send it to you.
So, yeah. All right, guys. So, with that, I am going to wrap it up. And please go over. Please go to Sci-Fi's stream. Yes, that's Sci-Fi. He's very drunk. He needs your help. I'm sorry. I know. I'm messing with him. All right, guys. Have a good one. Jolan True, Kapla. Take care. All that good crap. And I'll see you over at Sci-Fi Nation.
Making your way with the nerds today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from hating JJ sure would help a lot.
Go to bed already.
Wouldn't you like to just get laid?
Amy One Kenobi again. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Amy One Kenobi right here, she does the paintings and stuff. Oh, Irma Gerd. Go subscribe to her. And I took her. Yes, I do, my friend. I will send you a link. Yes, I am on StreamYard, Wesley. Are you, Wesley? You need to have me on Twitter. I am not putting this as a public link. So. Actually, I'll send it to AT. AT, if you have Wesley on Twitter, send it to him, will you, bud?
Wouldn't you like to say me
Or AT, send it to Wesley. One of those. Somebody will send it to somebody.
We're turned to steady, so your name.
Son of a bitch.
Finally, you see him sitting down there.
Yeah, I know. Hey, do me a favor. Send that link to 18 Wesley, will you?
All right.
You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
18 Wesley are allowed up here. And wait, Amy One Kenobi is the only one out of y'all that y'all ain't got on Twitter, I think.
You son of a bitch, anti-tracker!
No, Amy is awesome.
I gotta go to Discord if I want to get Ricky.
No, just 18 West. Just send it to 18 Wesley.
I can get Wesley on somewhere. There's Wesley. I got Wesley.
I can send it to AT.
I sent it to Wesley in private on Discord.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to AT.
AT already has it. I sent it to him too.
All right, I just sent it to Amy as well. Now, everybody, when
all you
Amy
gotta do is
comes
send
on,
it to Amy.
I just got one thing to say. When Amy comes on, be nice.
Are you paying attention to watch there? Because I sent AT the link.
Oh, there's an AT. Okay. I see a big turd, a big fat turd coming on.
The hell? He stole my master picture.
No, that's just you.
Alrighty then.
So
there's a big fat turd right there.
I'm still streaming. I'm just streaming
everybody
this.
else.
He's just streaming StreamYards.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
He is. Hello, Amy. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey. Can y'all hear me okay?
Hey, girl.
I don't know if anybody's
Can y'all
still
hear
on
me?
my stream, but you should be over here at Sci-Fi Nation stream. So come on over. There's plenty of room. I promise. Well, maybe not on StreamYards, but there's plenty of room in the chat. So I'm stopping this stream though.